Good morning. Good morning, World Without Wine. Good morning to my tribe, whoever is here this morning. It's so good to be here and explore today what lies ahead, which is the festive season. And I mentioned that I was going to share with you how to cope. And then I thought, it's not just about coping, it's also about having fun and being at ease. And how do we do that alcohol free? So let me just see if everything is working. Just let me know how it's going. Yeah. So I'm trying to see the comments book. Oh, Janet, you are here. Yay. When we see somebody else here. And when I see Janet, I just immediately just go into my relaxed state and yes, thank you. And I'm excited to see who else is going to be joining us this morning. And yeah, because I think for a lot of us, this must be a really daunting time. I remember 3 years ago, I always talk about 3 years ago because it's 3 years ago. In December 2017, it was going to be my first alcohol-free December holiday period. And we had planned a holiday with friends to India. And I look back on those pictures now, and I was still very bloated, and I often looked pretty miserable, low in energy. And I think I even had a comment at one stage during that time that people, well, one friend said to me, I actually just prefer you when you're drinking. And I was like so hurt by it. And when I think back and I see those pictures and I see myself at a function, at a year-end function in that December period, I always looked pretty miserable and very serious. So I think a lot of the time, what gets up people's noses or what people notice is not the fact that we don't drink, but that we seem to be ill at ease and unhappy. So I want to really explore that today, that you can create a beautiful plan that's going to keep you on track with your goals and help you execute it, all with ease and fun and with a sense of empowerment. So I hope that's going to help you. And so for this morning, I thought I'd start with a question like, sort of what typically happens with you during the holidays around alcohol? How does alcohol play a role in your holidays? If you can just share that with me in your comments box, in the comments box. Thank you. Oh, hi Flick, so good to see you. And Verlaine, good morning. Oh, hi Natasha. So share with me, think back to last year, or if you're still drinking, what typically happens for you around these holidays and drinking too much? Let me see if somebody's sharing. Good morning, Jess. Yeah, Jess, share with us what happens with you around this period where there's Thanksgiving and there's alcohol and how you usually show up. Okay, thank you, Janet. Yes, we've had a record number of new members, so I think that's fantastic. So a lot of the time we would say, okay, the festive season is just too tough. You know what? I'll start in January. I think this is the best time to start to take a break and say, I'm going to make my December alcohol free. And I think we can already start signing up for the Earthchild project, which World Without Wine runs. It's beautiful. It's where you not only get to have an alcohol free month, but you get to sponsor a child with yoga and look at the Earthchild project on World Without Wine. Make this your best December. I just absolutely love this quote from Mary Oliver, where she says, tell me what it is you plan to do with your one wild and precious life. Let's make it count. Ah, Sibo, you would have been drinking nonstop and not even recovering from hangovers. Oh my gosh. Hi, Rita. Wow, how awesome to see you. Rita has seen me in many situations that were not complimentary, even followed me home one day. Rita is like my little angel who also brought Johan in my life. So, Rita, my heart is just like so open and so warm to see you here this morning. Welcome. Okay, so Verlaine taking drinks to the beach, drinking earlier in the day. Yeah, I remember those. So it's part of the reason why you probably here then is because as much as we kind of tell ourselves that alcohol is part of the whole festive season, um, it's also part of a lot of the time our feeling bad, feeling hungover, picking up weight, just feeling lethargic, and yeah, often not remembering our holidays. So, what's really the worst, the bad news is that you're going to get maybe a bit uncomfortable on the front end, but you're probably going to be more comfortable on the back end. So, you might be uncomfortable in the moment to sit with your urges or your desire to drink. But when you don't, you wake up the next morning and you feel proud, you've honored your plan. So I'm going to delve more into that right now. So, why do we drink? I think that is like a really good question to ask ourselves. If I think back to the festive season, often it would be I'd walk in at a year end function and I would feel kind of conspicuous or self conscious, a bit jittery, a bit anxious. I'd head for the bar, order myself a drink, and it seemed to like, okay, I can negotiate the evening better. So, very interesting. Often we talk about that we drink to numb our feelings. But I also discovered, and the more I think about it, that actually the reason why we drink is to have the feelings that we don't have. So when I was in that bar and I was feeling self conscious and jittery, what I wanted was ease. And that's often why we choose to drink, is for the ease. If we are in company and everybody's drinking, we feel the peer pressure. So we don't want to feel left out. So we look to alcohol to solve our problems, to solve uh, our anxieties. And at the end of the day, it actually does the opposite. It might do so in the moment. It might do so for 60 minutes. But if we keep on creating this kind of repetitive pattern where we start having alcohol every time we want to feel at ease, we want to feel relaxed. Think about it, a heavy day after work, and you come home and you just want to like breathe out. What you're wanting is to breathe out. What you're wanting is to find a way to relax. And we look to alcohol to give us that. It gives it to us on the front end and it robs it from us on the back end. So I just want you to also understand the motivation triad. We are so much into this neural pathway where we reward ourselves because we don't want to feel something uncomfortable with alcohol. The more we do it, the more that neural pathway gets wired, and the more we are in that neural loop. So, how do we get out of it? How do we unwire it? How do we not how do we change that repetitive behavior? And what a beautiful opportunity it is to do that um, in the new year, in December. So let's start at this. Let's start rewiring those neural pathways. And one of the things that our brain loves is to create new neural pathways. It keeps the brain engaged, gets the telomeres growing longer, it keeps the brain healthy. So look at this as an opportunity for you to create a new neural pathway. Anti-aging for the brain, wonderful. Okay, so yeah, I'm just checking in here with you guys. Oh, yeah, Jess, Christmas Eve starts with a dinner with drinks, then champagne, opening gifts, and then Christmas. Yeah, it's all celebratory, and that's another reason we drink to celebrate. But what is going to really help us if we hear, it means that we are uncomfortable, that we don't want to keep having these same behaviors. So you're uncomfortable already. You want to have a different kind of experience this festive season. So, how are we going to do it? We're going to have to look at some of the reasons, some of our beliefs, our programmed beliefs, which are a Christmas without alcohol is not celebratory. We always open up bubbly at over Christmas. Everybody drinks. These are some of the beliefs that we're going to need to unpack as I go along. We can change these beliefs. We can make reframe beliefs that are far better. The reason why I choose not to drink is because I want to be more present. I want to be more engaged. I want to be more alive. I want to create that new neural pathway. And being a coach, one of the things we love to do as coaches is we love to have goals and set the goals and then create the plan how to do it and then have you execute it. So I'm going to share with you today a plan, how to make a plan for this festive season and how to overcome obstacles along the way so that you can execute it with ease, with joy, and feeling empowered. So, what I'd like to ask you now is in the comments box, just write down your goal or some of your goals for this for this festive season. Is it to have an alcohol-free festive season? Is it to maybe have some completions and finish projects that you haven't managed to finish? Is it to have a beautiful seaside holiday without alcohol? Is it to be more connected? Is it to do more gardening? Is it to have more energy without alcohol? What is your goal for this festive season? If you can just share that with me and put it in the comments box. And let me just dive in here and have a look. Yeah, plan sounds great. So what are some of your goals? Yeah, so I'm seeing some of the thoughts here. Yeah, alcohol flows, everything flows more easily over Christmas if you're drinking. Yeah. So how do you want to show up this festive season? What is your goal? Hi, Irene. So it may be that you want to abstain from alcohol. You may want to drink alcohol-free drinks. You might want to decide what is best for you and empower yourself and have your own back. Your goal this year is to have your own back and empower yourself. Melania, peaceful and joyous family time. Yes, that's beautiful. I love that. Okay, so let me get into the plan. How do we execute a plan? What do we need to do? So the first thing is we need to have a goal, which is why I asked you just to write down some of your goals, to get really clear about your goals. And it's like having a recipe. For example, you want to bake a beautiful cake, so you're going to need to get the ingredients. You need to think about what ingredients don't you have, go shopping for it, plan for it, and then you're going to need to put everything together and bake the cake and execute the recipe, follow the recipe. And then what you have at the end of the day is a beautiful, beautiful cake. So when we plan our plan is going to be, for example, to have a beautiful, joyous Christmas without alcohol. How are we going to do that? What do we need to prepare ourselves for? We're going to need to have I always say it's very good to have a weekly plan, have a planner where you actually write down week to week until the 2nd of January. What have you got lined up for every week? So if you have a function on Wednesday, put it in. And then if you have a function on Friday, put it in. If you're going to go to family, put it in. So everything that's coming up, put it in. If you want to um, do a workshop or you want to go and do a dance, go to the gym, put it all into your weekly planner. And then ask yourself, okay, what do I need to have in place to execute this week, alcohol free? For example, when I'm going to have dinner with my family, what do I need to have in place? What could be some of my obstacles? So the first obstacle are thought obstacles. How often, and I think back to myself 3 years ago, and I was feeling very self-conscious. I was like looking and thinking everybody else can drink, only I can't drink. What's wrong with me? This is really hard. So when you're having those thoughts, you're going to feel disempowered. I often talk, and I talk about it, I think, at every one of my Facebook lives, that our thoughts create our feelings, and our feelings drive our actions. So it's very important to get clear about our thoughts. So when you write down, you're going to go to a family dinner, write down your thoughts about it. How are you going to feel? What is your trepidation? And then you look at in terms of how to reframe those thoughts to more powerful thoughts. And I love this. When I was in self-coaching scholars for a year, and there were some excellent coaches there that coached around how to stop over drinking. Jody Moore, Brooke Castillo, and Angela Masenic. Beautiful teachings that I got from them that eventually also really landed for me. And I remember Jody Moore saying, when she went to a family dinner, what she told herself was, they don't have to understand me. I have to understand me. They don't have to approve of me. I have to approve of me. So when you start bringing in those thoughts, you feel more empowered. You come from a seat of empowerment versus one of the victim. I feel bad. I'm going to be stuck. I'm going to have to get through this dinner, and everybody's going to be fighting, and I don't know how I'm going to cope with my mom or my sister that's always on me. You can have a thought like, actually, I can get uncomfortable with that for an evening or for a day. I can handle that. I can deal with a little bit of discomfort versus drinking and feeding that neural pathway again, rewarding it with the emotion you want to feel. So your thoughts, your obstacle thoughts, get very clear around them. It's often very helpful to engage a coach at this time if you're not clear about how to do that. Thought downloads around every activity, every event that you feel trepidation about, very good idea. And then reframing those to more empowered thoughts, more empowered beliefs. Because as much as the media is selling us how wonderful alcohol is, how it solves all of our feelings, how it makes us feel wonderful, the truth is, and you know because you're here, that actually it gives us anxiety, it demotivates us, we pick up weight, we eat, we then overeat, we do all other things actually. So paint the whole picture for yourself and come from a place of empowerment. You need to understand you. You need to approve of you. That is the most important thing. The second one is that we have the social interaction obstacle. And I've already touched on that, where what are people going to think of me? People are going to think I have a problem. There's that whole AA stigma. And how do I feel at ease in a social situation? And this is where it's really important to play the movie forward, to think about how you want to show up at this interaction. See yourself engaging, being curious, being interested, having fun, and always have your own back. It's really important to have your own back. Have an exit plan. Have a plan about what you want to drink. Now, I know that at World Without Wine, we have alcohol, we encourage alcohol-free drinks. We say, bring your own alcohol-free drinks. But I actually want you to sometimes not do that. I want you to go to social situations and interactions and have a sparkling water or a lemon and soda, have something completely different. And the reason why I encourage this is because the alcohol-free drinks still in some way reward that neural pathway. It's still giving you that same, it's still tricking that brain in a way. And I'm going to offer you to use these opportunities to feel uncomfortable and to sit with the uncomfortableness and find your ease. And because that is how you rewire that neural pathway. I promise you, that was the one thing that I learned was how to sit with my uncomfortableness, how to sit with my heart. And that is a skill that you can then apply into everything else. So when you see a social engagement as an experiment, you visualize yourself there. You go in there feeling empowered. I'm going to connect. I'm going to be curious about other people. And I'm going to drink my beautiful sparkling water. I'm going to encourage you to do that. And if there are times when it's like really tough, have your fallback alcohol-free drinks, because that is still better than actually going into the alcohol and really then strengthening that neural pathway even more, that loop. So I'll encourage that you try and sit with the discomfort. It's a beautiful opportunity to learn. Because remember, I was saying to you that so often we look to alcohol to make us feel more ease, to solve the problems and to give us the feelings that we're not feeling. I want us to learn to generate those feelings ourselves from within through how we think, how we feel, to be empowered. I remember I just wanted to get to the point of just not wanting alcohol anymore, just for not having any preference, for being totally free of it. And that's where Brooke Castillo was so powerful for me in her Stop Over Drinking program, where she said, you've got to sit with the urges. Do not distract yourself. Do not numb them down. Sit with them, sit with the discomfort, feel them. And she had what she called an urge jar, and she said, have 100 marbles, because once you felt 100 urges, your preference will be gone. That neural pathway will be rewired, or there'll be that new powerful one. And so that's what I did. And I actually didn't even think I needed 100. It was really the difference between white knuckling and resisting. And when we resist, we enclosed. You can feel your body going, oh, and I can see it on the pictures of that holiday in that 2017 December, where I didn't really look that happy. And I was really within myself and feeling left out a lot of the time. It's about embracing this is going to come up. I'm going to feel a bit jittery or a bit anxious. I'm going to have the urge. I'm going to really want to drink. And then it's about just noticing, pausing, and then breathing. Breathing into that feeling and then breathing it out, breathing it in, breathing it out until the volume goes down and down. Notice how long it takes. It's usually not that long. And then make a choice of, okay, now I'm going to have my alcohol-free beer, or now I'm going to have my sparkling water, or now I'm going to go for a walk. But if you really sit with those urges, 100 of those, your desire for alcohol will be gone, I promise you. And it's not about white knuckling or resisting. That's the difference. And one of the beautiful ways to look at it is like a beach ball. A beach ball, that you try and suppress will eventually pop out of the water and cause a lot of splash and chaos. Whereas if you just let the beach ball float on top of the water, it's harmless. You can look at it, you can actually admire it, and you can just be with it. So that's how it is to navigate an urge. Be like the ocean and encourage the waves to come. They'll come in waves, these urges, up and down. Be curious with them, let them go. So far, some of the obstacles I've looked at here is our thought obstacles, our social interaction obstacles, and then our fear of how we're going to sit with the urges and the feelings of being really uncomfortable. I need to see, what are some of your obstacles? Share them with me if you have some. Okay, yes, Jess, you want to really connect and celebrate people as my gift. I've lost too many precious memories. Beautiful goal. Oh, Rita, I stopped drinking about 3 years ago. I love what you said, Lynette. Allow one to be more present, more engaged, and most certainly more alive. Oh, Rita, that really, really warms my heart. Um, so good. Thank you for being here. And Berlin, creating fabulous alcohol-free cocktails. Yes, yes. And Janet saying, I think we should try and remember that Christmas is just 1 or 2 days. And that, yeah, I used to ramp up my drinking from early November in preparation. Yes. And we have Drink Mill. We can order a few celebration boxes. Fantastic. Yeah, Tessa, connection is the opposite of addiction. How is it logical to drink more during holidays? Maybe we need to learn to connect instead of drink more. Yes, and this is a beautiful opportunity for us to learn exactly that. The last obstacle I want to highlight for you is the fuck it bucket, as we like to call it. That is that you've now set your plan from week to week. You've done maybe well in the first 2 weeks, and then something happens. You go to a function and you find yourself just having that drink. And then you think, oh, well, I'm having a drink. What's the use? Now I might as well just continue to drink. And I want to offer you that, get curious if that happens. It's just a learning opportunity. Don't go down the shame spiral. Don't go and talk to yourself harshly. Often we think that when we berate ourselves and when we really talk badly to ourselves and we shame ourselves, we will stop. In fact, it does the opposite. The more we shame ourselves, the more bad we feel, the more we're going to want to drink to get rid of that emotion, especially if we're using alcohol to feel the emotions that we don't currently feel. The emotions of happiness and joy. If we're using alcohol to create that, don't talk to yourself badly. Talk to yourself kindly. Talk to yourself through the love lens. And fill your brain. That is my last, what I want to say to you, is fill your brain with as much alcohol-free content as possible. Listen to the World Without Wine podcast, the Goodbye to Alcohol podcast. Absolutely, there's some beautiful stories on there. Fill yourself with podcasts that deal with how to stop over drinking, that join the tribe, engage in the tribe, share when you're having thoughts and these obstacle thoughts, share them, let's engage with them, let's reframe them together. And you need to do anything to support yourself. Now, when you're baking that cake, you want all the best ingredients. You can't just say, oh, that ingredient is gone. I didn't get that. Your cake's going to be lopsided. So we want you to have this beautiful plan that you can execute so that your goal of having a beautiful celebratory Christmas really happens for you. This festive season is not just about 2 or 3 rec days, but it's about a beautiful December going into January, feeling positive, feeling happy, feeling like you got yourself, you got your back, you honored your plan, you did it. And that is really where our power lies. That's where our gift lies. So this December is your gift. And in closing, what I want to do is I want you just to close your eyes and for a moment, just close your eyes and picture yourself these next weeks. What you're going to do in the holidays instead of drinking. Just close your eyes and visualize that. So instead of ruminating and getting angry with family and relatives and kids, what are you going to do instead of using alcohol to solve that? What do you still want to accomplish this year? The year is not over. Maybe you've still got something you want to do and finish and complete. Maybe there's something you want to start. Think about how that person, that future self person that empowered you, that most powerful, confident, easy you, how does she move during the day? How does she wake up? What does she think? Is she getting more things done? Is she finishing some work projects? Wow, she's not thinking about food or how bad she feels. She sees herself going to social events and absolutely smashing them. She sees herself engaged. She sees herself present. She sees herself forming deep conversations, real conversations, meaningful conversations. She sees herself leaving conversations where the person that she's had a conversation with feels better for having had the conversation with her. It's not just all about her, which is what happens when she drinks. No, she's empowered. She comes from the seat of power. She engages. She is curious. So think about that. Think about that you. What does that you look like? And post it in the comments book. What does that you look like? What are you going to be doing? And what is possible for you? As Mary Oliver said, tell me what it is you plan to do with your one wild and precious life. Thank you. Let me just see what else has come up here. Okay, so Nasli, you say you're so afraid of the upcoming holiday season. You're very worried about yourself and drinking. So what's going to be really important for you, Nasli, is to be very, very clear about your goal as to why you don't want to drink, and to execute a plan, to have a plan in place. If you need help with that, remember we offer complimentary coaching, one complimentary coaching session at World Without Wine. It might, for anyone that's here today that's struggling, that's still not quite sure how to really put the plan in place and execute it, and be accountable, have somebody to be accountable to. Coaching is a fantastic way to do that and to help you on this journey. So I'm here. I'm not going away over Christmas. So if anybody needs coaching, please get into contact. Get that plan. Make this your best Christmas ever. Yeah. Oh, Flick, I love, yeah, the beach ball analogy. It also just sits with me, and you can even use it to keep afloat. Yes, just to float above those uncomfortable emotions. Exactly. Oh, Jess, I love this. Learning how to live with my beach ball and play with it. Yes, get curious about it and throw it up and down and have fun. Because at the end of the day, what is life if it isn't filled with joy and fun and real fun and joy that we can generate from within? Humor, play, laughter. Let's bring that into our Christmas and have the most wonderful season. And I'm hoping to see some of you at the Zoom Cafe later today, and check out World Without Wine's blog, how to do a dry December. You've got this, you got you. Just visualize how you want to be, set your goals, put your plans down, and execute them. Have a beautiful day. Thank you for being here. Thank you for engaging. And I'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Bye.